Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. And this video is going to be slightly different from the videos that I made before because I am going to read you some of the entries that I made when I just started struggling with insomnia. Essentially, the idea to make this video came from basically I was cleaning the house and I was just looking through some stuff to throw away, and then I found just a notebook, and I wanted to kind of like shred it and throw it away. But then I started, reading it, and I realized that this was the notebook, the diary, exactly when my insomnia started. So what I did was I posted on Instagram like a few pages, and then people got really interested in learning more about how it was for me, just to show them a little bit of my mindset at the time. And I decided to make a video because if this can bring any sort of hope to people, then I'm super glad if that's the case. But I want to basically kind of like do a little bit of disclaimer that this is just my personal experience with insomnia, and the entries here are messy. They are not they were not made with the intent that one day I'm going to kind of like reveal them. They're basically my like mind download. Everything that I thought at the time, I didn't know what was coming next, how I'm going to process, and so on and so forth. And of course, there are a lot of entries where I felt at the very bottom. So, hopefully, this video can help someone not to feel alone, even if, some of you might be going through a difficult moment when, there's a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety, a lot of doubt. Reading that I felt in a similar way might bring some, support. But again, if you don't feel like this is helpful, feel free to skip the video. That's totally fine. And I also want to highlight that the point of me reading this isn't to just show how horrible, like my experience was, but to actually illustrate that it is possible to get from the place of a lot of struggle, a lot of overthinking, worrying about it, to the place of, freedom, peace, not worrying about it, and so on. I'm going to read some of the entries, and I'm going to do it slowly because I'm translating the things. It's not written in English, so that's why I might, take a while to translate certain sentences. So I hope that's okay with you. Okay, the first entry, I don't have a date on it, so I cannot tell, but I would assume based on the next entries, it's somewhere in the beginning of February or maybe the end of January 2020. So the first entry is this. I think that I'm developing a strong association with or between sleepless night and my bed. The moment I get into bed, different intrusive thoughts start to come in, and I start feeling anxious from it. Then later on, I kind of like wrote down all the thoughts that were coming to my mind, unfiltered. So basically, it's just kind of like random. Okay, what if I don't fall asleep again? I'm afraid that I will lie there alone in the darkness with my thoughts. I'm afraid that I cannot control my thoughts and they are gradually amplifying. I'm afraid that I'm alone and anxious. I'm in a very dark place. I'm not feeling better and I'm afraid that I'm only getting worse. My subconscious is against me and does everything that I feel worse. My body works against me. I don't feel comfortable in my own home. So these are just like kind of like thoughts. It was like a thought download, basically. Everything I was worrying about, I was just writing there. Then the next entry that I wanted to share with you is this. Sleep in the last 2 days has improved. Not quite so that I would like it to be, but I sleep around 4 hours right now. Sleep is kind of shallow. I'm not sure whether I slept or not. I wake up without this heaviness in the body. If not the panic attacks that I'm having during the night, I would be happy to get those 4 hours, essentially. Sometimes I'm still worrying. Uh, I still don't have energy or motivation to work. I'm worrying about my appearance. I don't like the way I look in the mirror, and every time I look in the mirror, I get upset. And by the way, the appearance anxiety is very common during insomnia, and I had as well. I also write a bunch of other stuff, but it's like sometimes it's just repetitive. It's like it doesn't really, add any extra value. So I'm going to skip a lot of things. Okay, next entrance is from February 11th, 2020. And this is that's actually one of the entries. I can see by my handwriting that it's very messy. It's very, I don't know if you can see it, but it's very kind of like emotional charge. I'm terribly angry at myself that I still cannot sleep. I no longer take pills, meaning like I was taking antibiotics before, and this is the reason why I started having like sleep disruptions, which then developed into sleep anxiety. But basically, I was no longer taking those antibiotics, but my stupid brain still keeps me awake at night. I'm angry at myself that I'm struggling, and it's my fault. Every night I want to cry, I want to hit the pillow, I want to throw things around. I'm desperate. What if I will never fall asleep? What if I will die from it? Basically, all of this are kind of very dark thoughts. Then I'm basically expressing my hatred towards myself. I hate myself. I hate the night. I hate my stupid brain that cannot shut down, not even for a minute. The recent nights I constantly cry from helplessness and from the fact that nothing is changing, and that I'm alone. And then I expressed a very, very dark thought. I'm not going to read it, but yeah. Then 15th of February. I want to write quite a lot. I think that I started sleeping more regularly. This week, I took what is it like days off from work, so that I can concentrate on myself. And on the next night, I fell asleep. I dropped all the efforts to fix my sleep. I'm not going to uh, Google, and I just was sitting in the quietness and started to talk to my body. Basically, so this was one of the nights when I started kind of like sensing the path towards acceptance and befriending wakefulness, even though I didn't know the concept at that time. And a lot of entries after that, basically my way of talking to my body. So basically the entries are about like, hi my body, I know you're scared and blah blah blah. So I'm not going to read it, but I tried so hard to talk to my body, talk to my anxiety. And then sometimes I could notice that I was doing it as a very subtle sleep effort, because it seemed like it kind of helped me at first, and then I started kind of doing it again and again, a little bit compulsively, anxiously. So that was also not really helpful. Now I can tell this, but from the time I was writing it, this was the best I could come up with. Okay, 21st of February. Yesterday and today, anxiety is more amplified. I feel anxious even during the day. I think it gets harder to keep it under control. I didn't know that I actually cannot control my automatic emotions, but I felt that somehow I could. Today I slept around 3 hours, yesterday the same. On one hand, it's very little, but on the other hand, it's a miracle that even in such a state, there is still some sleep. I was very, very anxious during that time. Oh, yeah, a bunch of thoughts. Okay, then I was writing down like my triggers, like what I tried to analyze, like what I was afraid of, all sorts of things that cause me anxiousness, and then I wrote down like things that were triggering me, and this was around Oh, I don't know when. I don't have a date here. Oh well. Okay, so one of the triggers is time. The moment when I start thinking about what time it is, how much time since that time, every time I see time on the in the kitchen appliance, and at that time, like I was very much obsessed with checking the time, constantly monitoring my, like bedtime, wake up time during the night. Basically, that was like a very strong obsession. Then another trigger is the tiredness in my body. That was triggering for me. That I felt tired, and then I started feeling hope that since I'm tired, then I'm going to sleep. But because I felt hope, then right after there came a fear of losing that tiredness. And then also the one of the triggers, which is like, it's a very subtle trigger, which I had, was that this image of this kind of like a foggy pre-sleep experience brain, meaning that the moment when you're about to drift off, and basically the moment I would register that kind of like drifting off feeling, I would instantly wake up. Okay, now 23rd of February. How do I not go crazy? How can I be kind to myself if all my efforts bring only suffering? Now I feel helpless. I'm not sleeping the second night in a row. I don't even remember when I truly slept. Whether will I ever feel better? Can I find peace? I was basically asking myself questions. Um, why at night everything becomes so difficult? I'm so tired from my anxiousness. Uh, I have this feeling of fear, hopelessness, feeling that nothing will ever get better. Yeah, and then there was also like I was writing down like my fears, like basically I fear that I will never have a good night again in my life, and I'm afraid that I will get sick because of anxiety and sleep deprivation. I was just writing down like everything came down, so it's not like a coherent, like nice, text or anything. It's just like random stuff. Then there's another entry where I was kind of like trying to analyze like my bedtime. So basically, I went to bed at 0:10, and how I felt during the time. I felt anxious, and that feeling was kind of growing throughout the night, like a panic wave. Then I fell asleep at around 5 a.m. I had a breakdown. I woke up at 7:40, strong anxiety. I feel my heartbeat. Then I was also had a habit at that time of checking my pulse and the pressure, blood pressure. Basically, a lot of self-monitoring, a lot of analyzing, which also wasn't helpful in the long term. Basically, I slept very, very badly. At 23:30, I already was kind of like nodding off, but in half an hour, when I was about to go to bed, sleepiness vanished and anxiety just remained. Then later on, I took this contrast shower, this kind of like hot and cold shower. Now I'm feeling better. The anxiety has decreased. The physical manifestation of anxiety also went down. The mood has increased, and then also like writing my pulse and blood pressure. A lot of monitoring, I'm telling you. Okay, now later, like next day. Today I slept 8 hours. At night, I was so anxious that despite the complete relaxation of my body, I felt terrified. I was kind of like paralyzed. Then I started crying, like sobbing. This is how insomnia and tension was kind of like pouring out of me through crying. I was crying until I got so exhausted and I just, I didn't have like any energy to cry. I took 4 pills of valerian root, like this kind of like herbal remedy, whatever. And then my anxiety went down a little bit. I managed to fall asleep, and I remember several times I was waking up with a very intense heartbeat, and then I would fall asleep again. Morning was okay. I was more relaxed and more at peace. And then I'm like, okay, then I'm going to keep taking valerian root because apparently I thought that it helped. Basically, a lot of things that I was trying just to find a way to feel more at peace, feel more calm, and yeah, a lot of sleep efforts, which is understandable. I was so scared. I didn't know what was going on. So yeah, that was hard. Then I'm basically describing that on the first of March, that it's been very tough. I'm tired. Physically, my body is screaming for help. I'm holding. I'm hanging in there. Today I weighted myself and I weighed 46.4 kilos, which is very very little for me. I noticed that the moment I start being worried, I lose appetite. And oh, by the way, this is one of the very common ones. Like for many people, they don't have the sense of like taste for food, taste for normal things they enjoy, because like our body is in constant alert, in constant fight or flight, and sometimes like appetite becomes kind of like a secondary function. So that was my experience at the time as well. Okay, yeah. Then there's another, like later on, there was entry. I'm still afraid the moment when when the light goes off, everyone goes to bed, and I am going to be alone, like awake in my bed. I think it's very familiar, like for many people. And then 3rd of March, 2020. Yesterday, I was at doctor's. She sent me to psychiatrist. She also gave me like some medicine that some sort of like tranquilizer or something. I took it yesterday and fell asleep for 4 hours. Then I took another like sleeping aid and then also fell asleep. Um, I feel that when I'm lying in bed, the anxiety starts to grow. Um, it's not too intense, but it's intense enough to disrupt my sleep. I notice that when when I start thinking about something else or start kind of like daydreaming or something, then my anxiety starts to grow even more. Now, even now, I feel it. Um, uh, Most likely, the what scares me the most is this overall situation that something is wrong with me. Yeah. Yeah, then another like writing down like the stuff that like that I felt like were this kind of like traumatizing like memories from that experience. Basically, I am in bed and I have lots of thoughts. What if I don't fall asleep again? The horizontal position, when I was in horizontal position and my husband is next to me sleeping. Those were the moments were kind of like triggering for me. Also, another triggers were um, as I'm lying in bed, I understand that sleepiness has gone and I'm upset and angry. Uh, Kind of like instantly, abruptly get up from bed and leave my room. Another kind of like triggering like traumatic memory from this. Another one, I understand that soon will be time to go to bed, and I'm already anxiously anticipating the hell of the night. That I'm I'm standing next to my bed and I'm already feeling very uncomfortable. I look at clock and they show for, I'm not sure if it's like PM or AM, probably PM. And after a while, I see time, it's 5 p.m. and then I feel angry and disappointed. Basically, yeah, like I was just trying to analyze like what was going on in that time. Okay. Later that month, somewhere closer to the end of March. In the previous 2 weeks, my sleep became better. I was managing it well. Of course, sometimes it was difficult to fall asleep, but I was kind of like working with my thoughts and my beliefs, and I managed to bring back healthy sleep. Well, I still held this idea that I somehow can manage my sleep. I was truly satisfied, but then I kind of like forget all of that, and I started like having like wrong behavior, uh, and yeah, and it brought back this kind of like state of anxiety. Essentially, what I'm describing is a speed bump. Right now, it's already almost a week when I'm not sleeping good at all. I'm still sleeping, but that I'm still kind of like there's still anxiety, still irritation, although the irritation and anxiety is already less. Now I'm more kind of like calmer than I used to be. And then basically I started exploring CBTI. And the moment when I found it, for me, that was like a breakthrough. I was so inspired. I was so optimistic about it. So there are a lot of entries about like how I'm navigating the CBTI. Later on, I also kind of like hit a wall with that experience, but at the same time, like I'm glad that I had this, like I tried that route as well, just to learn like, its limitations, like what is good for and so on and so forth. And by the way, I have a video on the channel about my thoughts on CBTI, so if you're interested in that, you can check it out. So another entry, I started CBTI. I already do it for 4 days, that my alarm clock is set for 6, and that's when I have to get up and the night is over. In 4 days, there is very little progress. Even I started falling asleep even worse, and I'm more awake during the night. I'm waking up more times. But I'm, but I think I know why it is. Probably because I'm less physically active. And basically at that time, I really thought that I have to really exhaust myself. And so I tried to figure out like why CBTI is not that effective. So I still was kind of like very hopeful and optimistic. And then there's like a bunch of other text. And then there's something like changes in mindset. I stop seeing everything like the world in black and white kind of like light. I know that sleep cannot be only good and only bad. There is a spectrum. Basically, that was actually a very nice thought that I had at that time. Started to explore the fact that not every night is completely terrible just because the first, like if it doesn't start in ideal way. So yeah, and basically I think around that time I stopped really writing about sleep, because I haven't found any notes on sleep, and that's where I started kind of like learning more. I think this is when I discovered like Daniel's channel, and for some reason I was not really recording that. So I was just like dumping my thoughts. I was using my diary as a way to kind of uh, put away the pressure from my mind and just put it on the paper, and maybe think on the paper. And then the next entry that I found was in October. So it was basically like a half a year after that. And it was actually in between. I remember I had a very long stretch of like sleeping perfectly. And then when I started having again like a choppiness, and I have a few notes from that period as well. So this was like when I was already more in the like well in recovery, like more advanced. And here are some like some notes from it. Last couple of nights I slept fantastically, but today I again don't sleep. I feel like I understand what's going on. At first, first of all, um, what keeps me awake is this hyperarousal, the fear. The fear, and the fear is the automatic mechanism that arises because my brain detects or identifies sleep and wakefulness as a threat. No one can control their sleep and their fear. When I realized that, I felt a bit calmer and I fell asleep. But today, it's very difficult to get into the same mindset, and I don't know why. So again, I already learned a lot at that time. I really understood the concepts and everything, and then I would do the same mind trick or whatever, like the same mindset, and it wouldn't go the way I wanted. So I was kind of like writing that down. Then later in the same month, basically, I'm making a fatal mistake again and again. After a short success, I start thinking that this is it. I finally found a secret and the solution to the problem. But in practice, it only works only for a while. It's all because of what is that word? Excessive self-confidence. By the way, I'm translating from Russian if anyone interested. Doubt is everything that I have. But it's so stupid to say that I have found key when the result is so unpredictable. But that's okay. It's all part of the process with its ebbs and flows. And I hope that with each time I'm experiencing this dynamic, I'm getting closer to the truth. So that was already like way closer to recovery. And now in November, 12th of November, I have an entry. I'm constantly in a bad mood. 5 nights in a row, I have very much I have a lot of difficulty falling asleep. The past 2 nights, wait, I cannot read this. The past 2 or 4, I don't understand why. 2 or 4 nights, I don't sleep at all. I don't know how I was writing this. I don't have anything to take my energy from, the support. I'm angry at my body, at my stupid brain. I was writing this already after seeing so much success. That's the thing. Like I'm so mad at my body. I'm so mad at my stupid brain. At night, I have like very dark thoughts about ending it all. Today at night, I was crying. I'm helpless. I don't feel peaceful anywhere, that I'm sick and tired of it. Good nights sooner or later end, and I don't understand why. I hate falling asleep, or to be precise, I hate not to fall asleep. If I've managed to fall asleep, then the next night or the rest of the night goes fine. But if I don't fall asleep within 1 or 2 hours after I go to bed, then the night is guaranteed to be horrible. I want to scream from this helplessness, and I want some time out, at least from work. That I constantly have this kind of like thoughts that I'm a bad person, I'm useless, and so on. Yeah, and this was basically like last entry that I found from this diary. But all I can say that this was quite a journey for me. I didn't record everything, so again, those things that I read, they're just like snapshots of certain moments in my recovery journey. It's not my whole recovery journey, but if anyone can find some kind of like sense of like, oh, I'm not alone because someone else has gone through the same thing, that I would be really glad. And now, fast forward, basically, what is it, like 5 years, 4 years? I don't know. I think something around that. I can say that it's possible to get from this very desperate, very dark place. It's not going to be an easy journey. It's not going to be something like straightforward, but it's absolutely possible. So I hope that you found this video helpful. And by the way, if you're more interested in exploring more nuances of the recovery journey, I'm inviting you to my Fearless Sleep library, which basically a resource with more extra insights, extra knowledge, where things are more organized. So feel free to join it. Thank you so much for watching and have a nice day.